Thank you very much, Senator Shaheen, and my friend and my partner in so many legislative initiatives. I'm going to miss partnering with you here in the United States Senate, but look forward to continuing to stay in touch. And to my colleagues who are with us here, who are already in public service, 7 of the 10 of you on these 2 panels already serve our country as career members of our Foreign Service. Thank you for your service. And for all of you, thank you for stepping up to take on additional responsibilities. It's an impressive panel, and several of you have had the opportunity to work with, or to talk to at least, over the years. Our first panel, we have Deputy Assistant Secretary Chris Robinson, who was just discussed. He is heading to Latvia, should he be successfully confirmed, and he is no stranger to working on these issues, including most recently being in Moscow, which I think is good training for this task. Unfortunately, our great ally Latvia is feeling more and more cyber and other threats from Russia, and so I think that background will be very helpful that Mr. Robinson brings to the table. I also see we have George Kent with us, Deputy Assistant Secretary for Estonia. I fondly remember, Mr. Kent, a meeting with you back in 2018. I think it was in the spring of 2018, and when you helped me to be able to get transportation out to the line of contact at the time. Remember, 2014 was when the Russians first invaded. In 2018, there was a hot war going on in the Donbass, and I was able to go and see it firsthand, partly due to your interventions. I appreciate that. I now want to hear what we are going to do to try to help Estonia even more to push back on, again, the threats that they're facing, including cyber threats. By the way, the place where I was able to go was in the east near Bakhmut, and seeing the recent photographs of Bakhmut are heartbreaking. That part of the country has been utterly destroyed by Russia's brutal assaults, and the Wagner Group in particular, mercenaries. So anyway, I look forward to seeing how we can deepen our ties with Estonia. Next up, Ken Merton is here, nominee for Bulgaria. A strong ally of the United States. I have worked with Mr. Merton before because when he was at the Bureau of Western Hemisphere Affairs, he helped on a very sensitive issue with regard to Haiti. And I told you this, but I appreciate your personal involvement with my constituents and eventually a successful outcome. But I'm curious to know how you will strengthen our partnership with Bulgaria and fight Russia's efforts to exert malign influence over that country as well. It's an important role right now. Ms. Kathleen Kovalek is here, who's a nominee for Romania. I was in Romania last year, and they have done yeoman's work to try to help with regard to Ukraine. They are suffering too, as you know, with the electrical issues with Russia bombing the infrastructures in Ukraine. They are affected directly. I'm glad to have the opportunity to see you before the committee, and I appreciated talking to you in advance. Glad you're finally here. And then finally, last up, Mr. Bijan Sabé, who just talked about the ambassador to the Czech Republic, the only non-career nominee in this panel. I'm curious to know how your private sector experience will serve you well in this important role with the Czech Republic, again, at a critical time in our relationship with Prague. Again, thank you so much. I'll now turn it back to my friend and colleague, Senator Shaheen.